Hi boys and girls. Okay, we're going to be doing our watercolor background for the sky. And the very first thing you're going to want to do, you're going to need a big brush with just clear water. You're going to need kind of a bigger brush. You could get by with this one if you don't, if we don't have these, but if we do, this actually will help. And you want to wake up the colors. I'm going to wake up the colors that I'm going to use. So I'm putting a little bit of water. I'm just putting a dot of water into the ones that I think I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use like sunset sky. I'm going to do these, but not green, and then blue and purple. So in the sunset, it's got a lot of colors. I'm not going to use brown or black. All right, those are awake, so I'm going to set that down. Now you have to work kind of quickly on this. So you want to make sure first that you have your name and class code on your paper. So I'm going to write my name and class code, first name, last name, class code, and then your class code's either 3A, 3B, or 3C, and circle it. Don't write your name so enormous that we can't read it, right? A normal size is good. Then flip it over, and you're going to start by getting your whole paper wet. Once I do this, I want to be sure I'm ready to paint, because you want that layer of water sitting on there when you're painting your sky, okay? So here we go, and it should be pretty fast. So I'm going to just take it and I'm going to wet the paper, making sure I get the whole paper wet, and I can see a nice glossy layer of water on there. That's perfect for me to start doing my sky. So I'm just going to start putting some of my colors in here, and isn't that cool how those are blending? They're going to blend nicely. Now I'm about ready to go into the yellow. I got to be sure and rinse my brush before I go into yellow. And I'm going to put the yellow down here because it's the sun going down. Some orange. Now if I mix my orange with my blue, what color am I going to get? Yeah, I hope you said brown. So I'm trying to keep the orange and blue away from each other. I know that the red and blue will just make a purpley color, but orange and blue is not so good. Okay, now look at how many, that took me about 10 seconds to do. That, I am done. And if you are at this point, I want you to get to this point as quickly as you can. I might put a little bit more blue here. Once you're there, make sure you still have some of this water sitting on your paper. You see how mine's still really wet? Raise your hand and Mrs. Walker will come around with the salt. We're going to sprinkle salt on it to give it the feeling that there's snowflakes in the air. What will happen is the salt will absorb the water and some of the color, and it'll make little texture spots. Let me show you a dry one here. So you can see on this paper, do you see how it made texture where the salt dried? There's another on the edge of this. You can kind of see how it gives it this texture, and in here there's a cool texture. That's what we're going for, is that cool texture. Actually, I have another example here, this one. See the texture when it dries? It's kind of fun. And then we're going to put these on the drying rack to use next week. So your dish, you need to put the brushes back by the sink with the bristles up, dump and rinse this. And then this one gets rinsed as well and put bristles up. This brush stays in the paints, and you're going to put those open on the counter so they can dry out again for the next class, okay?